So anyway, so catching up back to 2021 is, so I am actually now looking for, a new line of work. And I'm like, the work I was doing is COVID, and it's like, can't really do that because, COVID was like mask, gloves, and COVID tests. And I was like, I'm not really doing that, so I'm trying to find something more remote, more like, what can I do from home but I can still get my message out and really communicate to the world what I do. And I love to help people, so anyways, I come across, on Facebook, and, actually one of my friends that I used to follow, I still follow, and I was like, roaming around, and I saw, oh, Command Your Brand. What's that? Oh, podcasting. That's interesting. And so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, like, I saw you were doing a lot of, a lot of things with podcasting. And I was like, yeah, we're actually looking for someone, you want to join us? I was like, okay. So, and so as I started, the first job I actually had with Command Your Brand was I was actually helping with business development. So I actually help deal with clients and, doing a lot of reach outs for people to really understand how, who these people are. At the time I didn't really get who the clients were, who people were reaching us to, And so now, fast forward a year, and now we're in this phase where, like, okay, we have a lot of people who really just want to know what podcasting is, how it works, how do I start my own podcast, how do I be a guest speaker, how do I do it myself, how can I do everything myself for now, and just really get my own media out there. So, and what was interesting was because this is around the time where your own media was being built up. Like, it was just like becoming a thing, like almost like AI was just coming out. It was like, oh my God, like everyone's using AI. Everyone's using ChatGPT. Everyone's using Google AI, like this is kind of similar. Like, how can I reach to people about podcasting? How can I get people to know what podcasting is? So the CEO and I just decided, we're going to make part of the company a place where people can come and learn how we can educate people about podcasting, people who just have no idea what it is, what it consists of. How do I build my own podcast? How do I get on myself on podcasts? What's the exact formula we need to do that? And, and so him and I worked together, Jeremy, to actually really build a system together to actually educate people on what we do and how it works, and we decided, we should do something, let's do a free service. Let's do something that people can just learn and just get to know who we are. So we actually built a Masterclass to actually teach people, why podcasting in the first place? Why should people just hop on, just talk people other person's ear off on like what they do and promote themselves, right? Because in reality is, look what's outside. Like, TV is like, a very difficult place to get on. And what better way to get on is the internet, which is of course free, and you can just put your stuff online and learn and just gain information, and that's one of my biggest things. One of my biggest passion is I love to help and educate people on materials and things that they want to know, and that's what I find very interesting about Command Your Brand is there's a lot of things about Command Your Brand that's, a lot of other people aren't doing. First, we're, one of the top rated podcast booking agencies in the world. There isn't anyone like us who works in our same field of who we get on podcasts, And if you like, you can actually look on our website that actually can go over a lot of our testimonials that we do and how, we've helped so many of them and all of their, all the results that they've gotten from each of those podcasts. And I could tell you, just listening to so many of them and interviewing them myself is just, there's no better feeling than getting something that you've gotten the knowledge and you've given them so much information and so much help that they're grateful, that they thank you so much. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for what you've done. And that's what I really like about it. It's like you just really can help a person build their company and, get themselves to a point where they just know, and they just know that you've helped them and you've gotten to the point where, wow, I've reached to another level of who they are. I have a friend of mine who, was trying to figure out how do I get myself on on Google? How do I get myself known on Google and just like appear on Google? And, sure enough, we got him on like 24 shows and podcasting and just a whole gamut of different things. And sure enough, he's like one of the top results in like podcasting in that industry, And another cool story I'll share with you guys is I have another friend of mine who actually is Someone I didn't work with him, but I've known him through mutual friends, and he's been around for a long time. And what's interesting is one of the coolest things that he's done is he's also an educator. He actually help young adults and children actually on how to clear up words they don't fully understand, but also educate them on grammar and why grammar is so important to the English language and other languages, you know? And so him and I actually had a conversation. He's one of my first testimonials I ever did with this company. And, I actually read some of his books. He actually wrote, I'm going to say 100 books on like basically each definition of each word for the small common words. And he got people on he just got himself on podcasts, and we helped him with that. And he just, a lot of educators in India and like a lot of these poor countries just were able to get his hands on it. They were able to get their hands on it just to read the book and understand how language works. That's why I love it. It's such a good feeling to help someone, to really give them an understanding and promote your message out, because podcasting is a really amazing way to go. And it's actually such a fun, and people just listen, just people, what's happening around the world. There's a lot of things going on, but it gets your attention off of what's going on around the world and just focus on what's happening and just educating yourself, because in all scopes of things, like we're all on the same world, we're on the same planet, and we are here to educate each other on how we're going to be successful and how we're actually going to do things right.